Hello, Valentine. I wanted to send you a video message. I'm going to send it out today, and then these documents that we're going to share with you will be in the Valentine Bulletin. But I wanted to, first of all, just celebrate the work that we are doing and the work that we've already done first quarter to get to know our students and build relationships with them as well as our families. Thank you for holding those parent-teacher conferences. Thank you for communicating through Parent Square, because we know that is what we have to do to really focus in on having a great school year. So I wanted to remind you and review very quickly about the MTSS process. Remember, MTSS is how we do school. MTSS is all-encompassing, okay? And we know that MTSS, or I should just say at school, we look at two different areas, right? However, we know that they go hand in hand and that they work together. And those two areas being behavior and then being academics, okay? Notice I put behavior here first, even though it starts with a B and A should come first, right? It's because we know if we don't address behavior, then we cannot get to the academics. Their brains are not ready to learn. They shut us off. They close off from us, and we're not able to see what they can do and can't do and help them, right? So we know we have to address behavior first. So the things that we do, that when you're thinking about MTSS, remember you think about those layers. You've got your core, which is your tier 1, tier 2, supplemental, tier 3, intensive, right? It's just those additional layers of support. We're really amazing at academics because that's what we've always done. We are great at knowing when students don't know something in math or reading, and then coming up with win time lessons or targeted groups of how to reteach skills and how to assess skills and progress monitor. We are rock stars at that. The area that we're growing in as a school is the behavior side of that. What does that mean? Notice that we have the same type of things. We've got our core, tier 2, tier 2, tier 3, tier 3, right? And it's the same percentage of numbers. So if you're talking about a class, which is about 25 students, that means that 80% of your students, 22 of your students should be responding to your core 1, tier 1 behavior systems that you have in place. Okay, what does that look like? That looks like classroom management, being very strong as a teacher with classroom management. Those are things that you can control within your classroom. Your structures, your routines, your expectations, your procedures, all the way from lining up to sharpening your pencil. Those are creating that safe, predictable environment for students. That's classroom management. Expectations. Guys, I've asked you to please have your expectations posted, not just on a slide where you review it on your slides during morning meeting. Posted where students see those expectations all day long. Your mission statement, your expectations, and even having consequences posted where students see them. You can review them daily, and then you can reference them just like you do a learning target for academics. You reference them throughout the day when students need reminders. The 80% needs reminders, which goes back to classroom management. So again, I said consequences. You need to be giving consequences. I think there's a myth out there that Rogers doesn't like consequences. That is so far from the truth. We all need consequences in our life. If I eat that cheesecake or all that pie in there, I'm going to get consequences, right? My diet's shot and I'm going to gain 20 pounds, okay? That's a consequence of my choices. And the only way that I learn that is by messing up and someone holding me accountable. Now, what I mean by consequences, though, is I do want them to be logical, because our goal, if behavior is a form of communication, we've got to communicate with a child what the expectation is when we've not met that expectation, how to change that behavior so that we don't repeat those same behaviors that are getting us in trouble or that are keeping us from the academics and learning, right? And so we've got to make sure that they're logical consequences. Every day you see me in the hallway. If a kid's running down the hallway, I tell that kid, stop, go back, and walk on the right-hand side. That's holding them accountable. That's a consequence. Okay? If a student's eating lunch in your classroom and they spill something or they make a mess, make them clean it up. That's the expectation. You make a mess, you clean it up. Computer time, free time on Chromebooks or iPads. Okay, we finished our literacy assessment or we finished our lesson. You have 5 minutes that you can get on your Chromebooks. Okay, well, if you didn't work hard and take your notes and do what I asked you to do during class, then guess what? Time for time consequence. You don't get to be on the Chromebook. Those are logical consequences. And guys, I can help you with that. Any administrator can help you with classroom management, expectations, consequences. I live for this. So ask me. Ask for help. Learning leaders. Learning leaders can come in and give you strategies. Shout out to one of our new teachers. She worked with her learning leader to get some strategies of how to come up with some good classroom management things so that most of her students are successful in meeting those expectations. Good job, you know who you are. And support staff. Again, our PD breakout sessions that we do, and we've got one coming up next month, is for experts, EC, ESL, TD. Like, they can share strategies whether a kid has an LEP plan or an IEP. They're experts at differentiating for behavior and creating structures. Again, if behavior is a form of communication, maybe the workload or academics is too hard. And so instead of looking like I don't know, I'm going to act out. So what are some things that I can put in place? Again, that is for the majority of your class. Okay, is it going to work for every single student? Maybe not. You might have, out of your 25 students, 3 students who need all of that, all of those expectations, consequences, reminders, but they need more. So it's core plus more. And that is where we move into that supplemental. We've got the core plus more. That is where you come up with like a behavior plan or a token system. We've got 2 amazing expert counselors on here that can help you with that. We also have our EC teachers. We have an amazing school psychologist who is an expert at behavior when it reaches that supplemental level. Okay, so that's core, all these things plus more. And then that one kid who is just screaming at us, maybe literally, maybe not literally, right, with behavior, but we know that something's going on with them, that's where it then goes to that tier 3. And that's where we can have EC help, school psychologists, counselors, district support. We had 2 people from the district out here yesterday specifically looking at a student's behaviors and interactions and giving us strategies because they are now at a tier 3 level. So again, there is a method to the madness of school, right? And it is behavior and academics. It is core, what we're all doing for all kids. And then what do we do for the students that need a little more? So again, I'm going to now turn it over to our counselors. They're going to share with you the documents that they created with our MTSS school leadership team and also some parents. We got feedback from parents. So I'm going to let them share that now.